Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Venusian Light Tarot. So today we are going to be doing a pick a card intuitive incense reading. So the topic today is going to be, what are people saying about you? So this could be positive things, this could be compliments that people are talking about. It could be gossip about you. It could be good things, could be bad things in between. So we're just going to be leaving it very open to spirit to pick up on whatever will come through. So of course, just take this with a grain of salt. It's just for entertainment. So this is just from other people's, perspective. And of course, not everything will resonate with you. We'll try to pick up on some specific things here. Okay, so we're going to be we have 3 groups here to choose from, and I'm going to be setting the intention for the smoke from the incense to kind of represent like the background chatter about you, or what's in the air, what kind of words or conversations or thoughts are in the air from people around you, and just read intuitively what I can channel from there. So before we make our selection, let's go ahead and call in spirit and set the intention for this reading. Okay, so spirit, tune us in please to any of the souls who are here, who are present for this pick a card reading. I trust that you will guide the right souls to this message and to the correct pile if it's right for them. So allow me to be an open and a clear channel for the highest and greatest good here for these 3 groups in the collective. So we ask for any information, spirit, that we can pick up on for what are people saying about the viewers of these 3 groups. We ask for as much detail as possible. Okay, so group number 1, you are going to be Vampire's Orchid. Group number 2, you are going to be Wild Wood. And group number 3, you are going to be Dark Angel. Okay, so just choose whichever one intuitively pulls you in. The timestamps are going to be down below, and whenever you're ready, we will jump into group number 1. Hello, group number 1, if you chose the Vampire's Orchid incense, let's go ahead and see what we can pick up on and channel into here for you. So as I mentioned in the intro, just take this with a grain of salt. I'm just going to be picking up on whatever comes through. So what are people talking about right now? When it comes to you, what kind of chatter might be going on, positive or negative, from these people's perspective and what they're saying. So tune us in, spirit, to the viewers of group number 1, anyone who is present, who is here, who is drawn to this reading. Allow me to be an open and a clear channel for all of the souls watching and present here for this message. Okay, so I'm going to get your incense, and I'm going to set the intention for the smoke to represent, what's in the air when it comes to what people are saying about you. Okay, so group number 1, spirit, allow this smoke to represent what are people saying about the viewers right now of group number 1. So what maybe conversations are being had about you, what kind of compliments, gossip, whatever this might be, what is currently being said about the viewers of group number 1. So I'm just going to take a second to allow the energy to circulate here. What is being said about group number 1? What are people saying about you? And of course, again, not everything will resonate. There could be some specific things here. So I just heard a very specific message that something about your jeans, or you look good in those jeans. I know that's very random and specific here, but I don't know if someone bought a new pair of jeans or if there's just some pair of jeans that you know you look good in. Somebody could be talking here about how you look really good in those jeans. Also something in general about maybe your fashion. I don't know if you've been dressing differently lately, or if you've just been spicing up your outfits, or if you just have a really good sense of fashion in general. There could be people talking about that. I do feel like there could be some people here who are jealous of you. So maybe for that reason, maybe you've just been looking really good lately, or just in general, there could be some people who have been talking about you in a jealous way, or at least just thinking about that. And I am getting a message here, kind of a side note from Spirit, to say to protect your energy. If you're aware of that, there could be some people who are intentionally or unintentionally maybe sending you the evil eye. That could be for some. For somebody very specific, you could have leveled up your life. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly what this is. Either you moved away from people, or you may have recently leveled up financially, or you've just created a better life for yourself than maybe where you came from or where these people come from. So there could be some kind of talk about how you have changed, or how you're doing better than them. And it could be a little bit in a jealous way. Something here too, people could be talking about your voice, that they like your voice, or there's something special or significant here about your voice. I'm also getting, again, something about your looks. There could be people talking about something with the way you look, the way you dress, the way you maybe take care of yourself. You could be very hygienic, or you could just be really gone through a glow up physically. And I feel like there's people who are talking about that. I'm also getting too that some of you are doing a really good job at your work, something that you do for work. So this could be like your coworkers talking about you in a positive way. This could be your boss, this could be your clients, something about how you've been really working hard, or you're just very good, you're excelling at the work that you do. What are people saying about the viewers of group number 1? Yeah, there's something too to where you could be very independent, or you could be doing something recently to where you are maybe you're traveling, or you could just be kind of like a free spirit, or you're just adventuring or exploring right now when it comes to your life, keeping things open. So there could be some people who are talking about that. Yeah, and I do think, again, there's a group of people, I don't know who it is exactly, but there could be a group of people, or maybe one person. There's something definitely to where I'm seeing these people in like a spider web. They're caught in the spider web, but you are no longer caught in that spider web. So you may have really untangled yourself from something, whether this is recent or you've just done this in the past for your life. I do feel like people could also be talking on that same note about how you are very spiritually guided. You could be somebody who, you could be open with your spirituality, or somehow people perceive that you are very intuitive, but it's also something about you being guided. It's possible that there could be people who feel guided to you, because I'm just being shown this white feather here, and I'm hearing something about spiritual guidance, but it seems like it's in contradiction to whatever that spider web is. So yeah, I feel like some people could be, there's definitely a group of you watching to where, I don't know what this is, but there's like 2 different tracks, like 2 different roads here. So maybe some people feel like they're still caught in the same spider web, but you have actually leveled up, or you have moved forward. And it's like, maybe this is because of your spiritual guidance system, or because of your intuition. You know how to make the right steps for yourself, and some people are admiring that, and other people could be jealous of that. Because I do think that some of you are at some kind of pivotal moment maybe in your journey, to where you're breaking out of a lot of molds or boxes here, and it's like this is really making some people talk about that, or just perceiving your energy to be moving into a different direction. Okay, for some. What are people saying here? Something about your hair. Okay, so in a positive way, there could be compliments about your hair. People could also be just admiring your hair, even if some of these things are not said directly or in conversation. They could also be what people are seeing or noticing about you. Yeah, definitely something about your energy being very protected. And I kind of feel like this is a side note as well from Spirit to just say that you are very protected right now. So if any of these things that are being said today, or if you do, if you're aware that some people are talking about you or just kind of lurking somehow in your energy, I think Spirit just wants to give you a reminder or just a message that you are very protected right now. And there's something actually about like a jackpot here, a wheel of fortune. Again, some of these messages may not be so much that these people are saying that about you unless you have had some kind of recent big success lately. There could be some people who are talking about your success. And again, some people are admiring it and some people could be jealous. But it also feels like on a spiritual level, there's like a knowing somehow, or just Spirit wanting to tell you that you are moving into this like Wheel of Fortune jackpot moment of your life, to where some of these things could really start to make more sense for you in the future. Yeah, again, something definitely for a group of you here about your body. I'm getting something specifically about your abs. I don't know, some people could be talking about your stomach area, your abs. What are people saying about the viewers of group number 1? There's also some people talking about how you have a very comforting presence. There's something very warm and comforting about you. For some specific, you could be a counselor, or you could just be very like a helpful friend, or you could be someone who's always there for people, or these specific people. Okay, it could be for work and for clients, or it could just be, again, for your friendships. I'm also hearing the word unique. There's people talking about how you're very unique. Again, maybe your sense of fashion, your sense of style. You could even have like, maybe like very unique decorations in your home, or you just are really interested in unique things that most people are not interested in, or the mainstream is not interested in. And I feel too that for some, you could be having a lot of, for some reason I'm getting like phone calls off the hook here, but it could just be how they're showing it. You may get a lot of attention from romantic suitors. There could be some people talking about that, how you always get so much attention, or maybe people are perceiving you to be in an energy where there's a lot of people interested in you after you. You may be someone who is seen in the spotlight right now. There's just this perception of you, I feel, that you are getting a lot of attention, or that you do get a lot of attention, especially romantically. So some of these could even be that you are hearing from these people, or you will, or there's a lot of people who want to talk with you or get to know you or romantically pursue you. I also feel too, some people could talk about how you prefer to stay in, maybe on the weekends, or you don't really socialize a whole lot, or this could just be very recently. I'm picking up on so many different little streams of energy. So this could be certain people in your life may perceive it that way, but maybe it's just that you don't want to hang out with those people, or you've had a shift in your energy recently. But there's something to where you have like a private energy about you, or you've been spending more time alone. People do talk about, or someone talks about how, yeah, that you're private. Yeah, and again, something about not being able to get through to you. I don't know if this is one specific person, or if this is just these maybe romantic suitors for some, but it's like they can't seem to get through to you, or you're not available. I don't know if you haven't texted back or called back, or if it's just that you have your own thing going on and people perceive that they can't really get a hold of you. But yeah, definitely lots of attraction here. People are talking about how, again, just reiterating this, that you're very attractive. Something about not just your physical looks, but your energy. Like you have this very attractive energy about you that makes people, especially romantically, like want to pursue you or be around you. For someone super specific, there could have been a photo that you posted recently. I don't know why I'm getting something about Disney World. That's just very specific. It may not be Disney World for everyone, but maybe you posted a picture on social media recently that someone's talking about. And I forgot what I said just before that. So it could tie into what I said before that. Or maybe just someone's talking about wherever it was that you went in that photo. Or I don't know, something about someone saw that photo. What are people talking about when it comes? I'm hearing black cat energy. Yeah, so again, you may have like a very mysterious energy to you, or some people perceive there to be this mystery about you. Maybe you have pulled away, pulled back. Yeah, there's a lot of like really specific things here that almost feel like they're in different angles. So take it where it applies. Some of you also could be very outdoorsy, or you could be going on adventures, something about backpacking, or just, you know, I think something came up earlier about that. So someone could be noticing that you are someone always up for an adventure. Maybe again, it's like there's a little bit of a, not a resentment, but a little bit of a jealousy maybe from some of those people, especially if they can't be with you anymore or get a hold of you. But I also feel like you may have other people who really like that about you, that you are always just kind of up for new things, you're adventurous. What are people saying about you, group number one? I'm hearing classy. So yeah, again, your fashion, your style. People talk about how you look very classy, or you have this classy energy about you. I'm also hearing an air sign, so some of you could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. Or if you have that somewhere in your chart, you may really emanate those qualities. So there could be people who talk about you in that way, of like you have those qualities of the Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, even if you're not one for everyone. Yeah. And again, just reiterating here, I feel some of you may have a lot going on, a lot of people in your energy. Maybe you are very busy with work, you're busy with friendships, you're busy with maybe even romantic interests. And it's like you're being perceived in that way, to where you have a lot going on. You have a lot of things, a lot of interests, a lot of admirers. Is almost like a bit of a competition for your energy, and some of you may not even know that or realize that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's almost like some people feel like they have to compete for your energy. Or this could be some of the chatter in the background. Maybe it's in like a friend group, or it's maybe like amongst some romantic suitors, all talking about how that they're like competing for you in some way, or there's just this perception of like a Five of Wands energy, that everyone has to kind of compete for your attention or for your romantic affection. Some of you are thriving in your business, or you're doing really well financially, or you could even be just very successful in whatever path you've taken in your career. For some specifically, you may be on a public platform, or it could just be that you are, I'm getting real estate for someone specific, it doesn't have to be, but in that example, maybe you have like a Facebook page for your real estate business, or you are just very business oriented. You could be just very successful. And I feel like some people could be talking about how you're very good at what you do, and that you're just, you're very successful, you're doing really well, like an Empress, Nine of Pentacles kind of energy here coming through as well. For someone specific, you could be a single mother, I'm hearing, and it ties in to that success, that you're doing really well. You are able to just like really provide for yourself. You're just really successful right now. There's one person in particular, I feel, could be more than one, but at least one, who feels like they want to air something out with you. They want to have a conversation with you. They may feel like they want to get something off their chest when it comes to you. Clear the air. This person's coming up as like a King of Swords energy. So they could be an Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. They don't have to be, but they could be very strategic. And again, it's like they're perceiving themselves to be on the outskirts of your life. Like they can't seem to get in. I'm not sure who that person is, but whoever they are, they're not coming up like super emotional. So it's either someone who you don't have like a really emotional connection with, or it could just be that something happened between you both, which has put them and or you in a bit of a icy energy to where no one's maybe doing anything. But they do want to clear the air. Yeah, and Spirit just wants to say that, again, with that Wheel of Fortune energy, there's a lot of abundance coming in for you. And some of these people are almost like watching from the sidelines as they see your incoming wave of abundance, even just like intuitively, because a lot of those people may not know exactly what that is, or they may not be able to see it. I mean, yes, some could see it, but there's also like some sort of spiritual intuitive knowing, or it's just like in the air, because you know, when you shift your energy, or when you're going through a glow up or this kind of success, it does affect the people energetically around you to maybe either have regrets or to see a shift or feel a shift in your energy, even if you're not talking with those people. So I feel like there's something like that going on. Any final message here, Spirit, before we go? Group number one, anything else that people are saying about group number one? Yeah, again, now there's somebody specific coming up who feels like I'm being shown like this circle, something about wanting to repeat another cycle with you, but they don't feel like they can get in, or there's a question mark on the table as to whether or not the two of you could repeat this cycle again. But I feel like it really ties into a lot of what has already come up in the reading, that you may not, like you may have other things to do, or there may just be this competition to get your energy again. I'm hearing the name Samuel for somebody. And I don't know why this person now is coming up strongly, but they also could be having a bit of a, again, this one particular person feels a bit bitter, maybe. They feel a bit bitter. They may be even talking to people about how they, again, can't reach you, or they just don't know if they can reach you, or they don't know if you would accept them in your life. And they're coming up as that stoic King of Swords, and there could possibly be, if that resonates with you, some resentment about you moving forward, moving on, or just not responding to them. And I think it all ends up wrapping in to the reading to where they could even be a bit bitter about your success, whether they see it or just feel it, or they've heard about it. Because I do feel that, and that actually makes sense to what I said in the beginning about the roads and the cobweb. I do think that this person in particular, but also other people even around this person, if they're talking to them, may be talking about how you've branched away from this person or this crowd of people, and that you are kind of on a different timeline right now. They may not put it in those words, but this is how Spirit's showing it, that you're kind of on a different wavelength, a different timeline, and it's created these characters in your life to feel that now, especially this one person. So it could be coming through as resentment or anger, or just wondering where you are or why you've changed. Yeah. So I will leave it here, group number 1. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this could resonate with some of you. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Don't forget to check out our Patreon community for extra exclusive readings. And I will talk to you all in the next reading. Take care and lots of love. Hello, group number 2. If you chose this wildwood incense, let's go ahead and see what we can pick up on and channel into here for you. So as I mentioned in the intro, just take this with a grain of salt. Of course, not everything will resonate specifically with you. And we are picking up on what people are saying. So this could be gossip, it could be compliments, it could be from their perspective. So it doesn't have to, all be true. So we'll just see what comes up. And yeah, so group number 2, Spirit, tune us in here to any of the souls who are present, who chose group number 2, the wildwood incense. So allow me to be an open and a clear channel for anyone currently watching this reading, anyone drawn to this incense. Allow me to channel any details for what are people saying about group number 2. So what are people talking about? What kind of chatter maybe is being had about you? So we're going to light your incense and set the intention for the smoke to represent your energy and kind of what's in the air. What kind of words or conversations are people having? What's being said? Okay, so let's see. Let's just let this energy swirl around for a minute here. So tune us in, Spirit, to group number 2. What are people currently saying about the viewers of group number 2? So what kinds of conversations, what sort of compliments or gossip, whatever this is that's in the air, what is being said about the viewers of group number 2, please? What's being said about them? So I'm seeing a lot of violet energy. This could be that there's a lot of spiritual energy in this pile, so maybe people are talking about that. This also could be a pile to where maybe some of this information is going to be a bit more spiritual, or it's almost like maybe people spiritually talking about you, if that makes sense, or like in the higher realms or higher selves of people. That could be for some, but we'll see where it goes. Group number 2, what are people currently saying about you? Something about an indecision here. I don't know if this is where you are at. There's like a yes or a no, or maybe you have 2 paths in front of you, or this could be on somebody else's end, perhaps. So I will say for this pile, something feels very hard to open up here. So either, I'll see where it goes. Either there's not a whole lot of chatter about you right now, or this is something that maybe your energy is very hard to open up, or maybe people just don't have a lot of information about you right now. But it does feel like a bit of a struggle to open up this energy compared to group number 1. For some of you, I'm hearing the word healing. So yeah, you could be moving through a healing phase in your life. Maybe you are just focused really on your healing right now. That could be another reason that take it how it fits with you. I don't know if you've just retreated from the world, or if you don't have a lot of people around you, or if it's just kind of like, you're focusing right now on your own healing. So there could be some people who do observe that about you or think that about you. I'm also hearing, though, something about your precious energy. So some of this is coming up again from a bit of like a spiritual way, but I do feel like there could be a person or people who do see you or talk about you in a way to where you have a very precious or valuable energy about you. I'm actually being shown Spirit cloaking you in like a really like a golden light. So this is very interesting for group number 2, very different again from group 1. There could even be a part of this reading here which is not going to give a whole lot of information, or I don't know if that's because it feels like you're being like protected or cradled by Spirit. So maybe that is just something that is being, I don't even know if that's being talked about or if it's just spirit coming through as a side note here to say that your energy right now is very protected, because it feels like you have a very soothing energy, you have a very bright energy about you, but maybe you are just needing to go through this healing, or you're just, I don't know, it feels like group number 2, what are people saying about you? What are people talking about when it comes to group number 2? Yeah, I'm seeing a mountain here, and there's something about not being able to get through to you. So I really don't know why that is, but there's some talk about how you are inaccessible right now. Or maybe people just can't talk about you because you, I don't know, keep to yourself, or there's just this block or barricade here. Group number 2, what are people saying about you? I am seeing a 6 of Cups energy, so there could be some people from your past, or this could be one particular person from your past who does feel nostalgic about you. You may have people who are from your past who do talk about you. But again, for this group, it's almost like an internal talk, if that makes sense. There may not be a whole lot of outside chatter here. So this could be even just someone who is talking to themselves, I guess, in a way about you, or in a very private way. But I do feel like there is something here, or someone from the past. But I keep getting that distant feeling. So I feel like a lot of you, this person or a few people maybe from your past, may not have a lot of information about you. We'll try to keep opening this one up. This one's taking a bit to really get into here, because I feel like, again, your energy is very protected. So, you know, on a spiritual level, maybe people just can't talk much bad about you, or there's just this protective energy around maybe even what's going to be revealed. Maybe Spirit's trying to protect your energy in this reading from too much information being let out, because I just keep getting the same thing of like this cloak around you. Some of you could be very hard at work here, or you could just have, for some you may have like a business that you do privately, or you just don't share a lot. But there could be some talk about how you're just either always working for some, or it could just be that you're just, you know, kind of in your own world or your own corner here, but you're working on something. So maybe there is talk about the work that you're putting into. It could be that you're building your life up. It could be that you're growing a business. There does seem to be some observation or talk about that right now. I am getting something about your eyes. And again, it's coming up very mysterious. So there could be, yes, some talk about your eyes, that you have very pretty eyes. But it feels also like, again, it's like a high priestess energy almost. So I feel like it's like you're over here in your own corner. And it's like you're peeking out only with your eyes, but it's very mysterious. It's like not more is being shown here on your end. So I feel like someone might be perceiving that about you. Or this could even be the opposite, like this is someone else who's kind of peering in a way into your life or your energy. Not in like a bad way, really. It's just, some people could be talking here about how you are very fit, or you may exercise a lot. You could be just really focused on your self-improvement. So again, maybe you go to the gym a lot, maybe you eat really healthy, maybe you're just really privately working on your life. You are selective is probably the better word. You're very selective. And I think that another angle of this too is I feel like some people could be talking about how you just don't let anyone in, or you don't let these people in. because I feel like you could even give off that impression. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, if you're doing it intentionally, but there's almost this like black obsidian, I'm seeing crystal, like a big shield around you, but I'm getting that some people may talk about that. So maybe they say that you would never like let them in, or you don't let anyone in, or you just don't share anything here. So I do think that, you know, maybe some people would take that negatively. But I do feel like a lot of people find you, or whoever these maybe selective people are in your life, they do find you to be quite attractive and mysterious in that way. For someone specific, you could be recovering from a really difficult situation financially, just very specific. It could be like something, I don't know if you lost a business or if it's a divorce or something difficult, but there could be some talk about how you are recovering from that. It doesn't feel like there's anything more behind what's being said about that, aside from like that's where you've been, or that's what you've been doing. You've been just really focusing on yourself. You've just really been working on recovering, you know, from something difficult maybe. For someone very specific, you may have a farm, something about how you live on a farm, or you could just be a really big animal lover. Maybe you're someone who volunteers or helps animals. There's a lot of talk about how you put a lot of focus on that, on just maybe living a more low-key life, maybe just wanting to be around animals, be around nature. For someone also specific, you could be an artist, or you're a very creative person. And there's talk about that too, about how you could be very introverted. You could be just really maybe talented at the art that you do. But it's, again, it's like no one knows kind of what you have going on, or no one knows what you have going on in your world right now. I don't know if you've always been like this, or if this is just like most recently, but that's what's coming up here in this reading. And that's why it took a bit to open this up, because I do think that, again, people may not have anything to say because they don't have a lot of information about you. And even like in, you know, like public settings or at work, you still may not share a lot. Even if you have friends or close people around you, there's just something to where maybe you just don't have a lot of, you know, like drama or things going on in your life to really talk about or gossip. Group number 2, what are people saying about you? Yeah, and I will say for some, on a more, I guess, gossipy note, this could be a person or a group of people who could talk about how it's, and just take this if this resonates, but something about like it's not worth trying with that person to maybe like romantically pursue them, that they would never get far with you, or that it's not worth it, I'm hearing. I don't know if you just, again, shut people out or block these people out, but there could be some talk about that. Or if you've rejected a lot of people, there could be some people who are telling other people that you do reject everyone. Group number 2, what are people saying about you? Yeah, and again, just take this reading with a grain of salt. Of course, not everything will resonate, and this is from other people's perspective, so you don't have to take it. But some people could be talking about how you are kind of like a Queen of Swords, like you just are a little sharp. You may be very guarded, kind of coming up in a little bit more of a negative way, to where you just are not open at all. It's like this Queen of Swords, and I'm just being shown like somebody with very like tight lips, not wanting to maybe loosen up or to try something new. That could be for some. But on a different note here too, I do feel like you are someone who is very inspirational. There's people talking about how you maybe have like a different way of looking at life, or you have it could be the work that you do in the art that you create, or something that you have this perception of life in a very different way. And I do think that there's people talking about how that is very inspirational to them. Or you do inspire people, even if there's people who are triggered by you. I think that something that you do is very inspiring to the world. I'm also being shown this like gated community, or this really big home with a big gate. So again, very locked up, very, very, very private, very guarded. And it's not all in like a bad way. Of course, it could be that you have a lot of reasons to be that way. It depends on who these specific people are. Some people don't need to have access to you. Some people may feel like maybe you could give them a little bit more of a chance. But I also feel like your energy is very protected spiritually too. So I think that you're very intuitive, and so you know kind of like what that means, or who should you let in, who should you not let in. Something here about your hands. You may have very nice hands. Something about your nails, your fingers. People could be, I guess, talking about that. I don't know if it's the nail tech or if it's people who just observe your hands. Group number 2, what are people saying about you? I don't know why I'm getting Adele here. I'm not sure if you listen to Adele. Maybe people think that people, for whatever reason, talk about that, or that you listen to that kind of music. I'm also hearing a magnetic pull, or a magnetic energy. So again, there's this feeling of like a polarizing energy maybe about you. There could be a very magnetic energy that you do radiate to certain people. Maybe you are just someone that, because it feels like that. It kind of feels like this very like Queen of Swords energy, but also the mystery or the intrigue about who you are on a deeper level. And I think that it really does kind of come down to who you're dealing with, because some people don't understand that or respect that. But the right people do feel very drawn into that. So it is this sort of high priestess energy, I feel. And there could be some people who do talk about like this, I'm hearing like a magnetic charm, or like a magnetic force about you. I keep getting something about recovering. So that won't be for everyone, but maybe you're recovering from an illness, or you've recovered from a really difficult health condition maybe. It could be somebody also who is sick around you. That's just, again, very specific, but maybe somebody is sick around you and they're talking about, I don't know, about you. Maybe you have a healing energy too as well. Yeah, and I'm getting this energy of like, as I've already said a few times, but like, what are you up to? And I'm almost being shown a lot of adventurous energy behind the curtain. So maybe people think that you are, I don't know why it's coming up this way, but maybe some people think that you're up to like wild adventures behind the scenes that they don't know about. Or some people know that like when they can get into your good graces, or when there's this, when you open the gate, the front gate of your home, that you are up for a lot of fun, or there's a lot of adventure to be had with you, but they almost have to like have access to that. But some people could feel, especially if they don't have a lot of this information, some of these people could feel like you have a whole like hidden life, or they don't know like what is it that you're doing, and maybe the lack of information gives way to a lot of wild scenarios in their mind about what it is that you are doing. This is very interesting pile. Something here about a beachfront property or going to the ocean. Some people could talk about that, or just that you are someone who really enjoys the ocean, the water. You could be a water sign. Definitely for this pile, maybe Scorpio energy. Doesn't have to be, but group number 2, what are people saying about you, Spirit? Anything else? What are people saying about group number 2? Yeah, that you have a very big heart. So the people who do get to know you, or the people who you do have close in your life, or even possibly some of you could be in a healing profession, you have a very open, compassionate heart space. And there are people who talk about that, how you're like very loyal, you're a very good friend, you are very healing, you are very compassionate. And it kind of goes back to, yeah, I feel like I've kind of opened this up a bit more. There's people who feel like they've lost access to that. That's what that is here too, because there's some people who take advantage of that quality of yours. And those people may feel shut out now from that. So maybe you did sort of either kick those people out, or there's just this energetic perception that you have locked the gates, sort of. And I think that there are some people who feel like they've lost access to that compassionate energy about you, and so that all they can do is kind of peer from the sidelines. So I believe that's why Spirit showed that golden energy of protection around you, because only the select people can really get into your energy. And even if you don't feel that way, most of you probably do, but even if you don't, I feel like on a spiritual level, Spirit is aware, maybe particularly right now when you find this reading, that some people would not respect or appreciate that about you. So they're not being allowed to be in your life or to even talk about you maybe. So I think that it's like, this is a very careful kind of pile. This is like, it has to be carefully handled. Because I'm being shown like this 4 of Cups energy. And I think I mentioned in the beginning too, something about that, where I don't really think that's your energy, because I don't think that's who you really are. Yes, you could be, at times, there could be I think it requires a balance for you. Sometimes you can be a bit too guarded or too shielded away, but it feels like there's maybe different people, of course, watching this. Some of you are a bit more in that energy. Others of you just have very strong boundaries, and it's in a very healthy way. So it's not that you're shutting people out, it's just that you have this, like, you know who you are. But yeah, I think that some people here with the 4 of Cups, that may not be your energy of being in that low space. There could be people around you who wish that they have access to you, but they don't. I just heard Spirit say it takes a very high value person, which I feel is, first of all, who's allowed in your energy, but also I feel like there could be people who, even if they don't admit it, they see you as a very high value person. So maybe it takes a lot of courage for them to admit that they lost a very high valuable person, but it's like a treasure that not everyone can handle. Something about your teeth here. Some of you may have very straight teeth, or just very white teeth, or there's just something very nice about your teeth that people talk about. Your shoes as well. Something about you just being very put together. Some of you may have for some it's a very simple style of dressing, but it just is very like minimal or minimalistic, but there's something that feels very clean and fresh kind of about your style. You could just always be put together as well. Anything else for group 2, Spirit? What is being said about them? What are people saying about group number 2? For some, there's this talk about how, again, like we've kind of seen, that you're very spiritual, and you seem to have come out on top here with something. This feels like it's in a few different ways depending on everyone's situation, but there's almost a sense of maybe justice here, that you have come out the other end of the tunnel, and you have really overcome a lot of challenges that people may have doubted you with, or that, again, you may have locked the gates here, and people see that you actually have had a really big win or a big victory. And I feel like this also is on that spiritual level too, to where you have, you're just kind of like winning here, even if it doesn't always feel that way. For someone super specific, there's something about you being, I'm not sure if you're a math teacher, or there's something about being good at math. It's just a very random thing to come through. Or you are just very intelligent, could also be. But for some of you, you're doing something. Maybe you work with finances, or you could be a scientist or some sort of mathematician, something like that, where it's a very like, it's a very, you could be very intellectual. You could be very, again, Queen of Swords, so very intelligent. I'm hearing New York for some reason. Anything else for group number 2, spirits? What are people saying about group number 2? For some, there are some people, or maybe again some, because for this pile, it doesn't feel like there's a whole bunch of people maybe in your life, or it's just there's not a whole lot of people who have that kind of information to talk about you, probably because you just don't put yourself publicly out there like that. But I do think that for some, there's a person or a few people who are talking about your more sensual energies about yourself, or if they have been intimate with you, they may be talking about that or just thinking about that. That you are very, again, like mysterious with that. You may have a very alluring, sensual energy about you that is very attractive and very tempting for some people. Because I definitely feel for this group, there's like a 50-50 kind of feeling here. Some people are either intimidated by you or just don't want anything to do with you. And then the other half of it is people who are very drawn to you, almost like a devil kind of energy. So you may have that very polarizing effect. This feels like a very specific kind of pile. So if this doesn't sound like you, then, it may not be your pile, but this, yeah. Anything final, spirit, for group number 2? What are people saying about them? Yeah, and on that note too, just to kind of wrap this all up, I do feel like there's some people who are very much flying under the radar, I'm hearing, to talk about you. So for some reason, I don't know if it's because they don't want you to find this out, or again, if it's because they just don't have any way to find information about you, or both. But I'm just being shown like the Knight of Swords in tarot, and the Knight of Swords is flying underground and trying to like get information, or talks about you in a very underhanded kind of way. But it feels very like, this whole thing feels very mysterious because they're not being upfront with what they're saying about you, or they're not being upfront about their chatter about you. Or again, it could be because they're trying to find some kind of information about you, but they feel like they have to almost like fly underground, but even then, there's like a frustration around this here. I'm just being shown a lot of trying to get into those gates that are locked. So I feel like it's probably not a bunch of people, but there's a few people who are doing that. Yeah, and again, lastly, I'll say too that there's a few people, or people who have been with you maybe romantically, especially physically, intimately, or you could just take it where it applies. Maybe there's just people who know you to be, even if you haven't like been with those people intimately, there's just something maybe about your essence that like kind of radiates that energy of like a little bit of a devilish energy, but not in a bad way. It's just that there's something that feels very intriguing about you. So those people could talk about the intimate I don't know if they're actually talking about it or if it's just, you know, again, like insinuating it, but something about the intimate moments with you, or just that you are very alluring in that way. And I think there's that frustration of some people who either have always wanted to be intimate with you, but you just don't want to, or you never let them in, or people who don't have that access anymore. Okay, something like that. Because this feels like it's not so much like of a current thing. You know, maybe for some, if you're dealing with somebody in that way right now, they could be talking about it in that way, but I also feel like there's some people who don't have that anymore with you, and there's like a little bit of an anger almost about that for some reason. And it's because of your triggering energy, but also because you've locked the gates. I don't know. But yeah, I will leave it here, group number 2. This was a very interesting group. So please let me know if this resonates with you, if any of this fit you. And if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Don't forget to check out our Patreon community for extra readings. And I will talk to you all next time. Take care and lots of love. Hello, group number 3. If you chose the Dark Angel Incense, let's go ahead and see what we can pick up on and channel into here for you. So as I mentioned in the intro, just take this with a grain of salt. Of course, not everything will resonate. There's going to be some specific things that will not apply to you. And we're also going to set the intention that this could be, you know, compliments being said about you. This could be gossip. So this is from other people's perspective and may or may not be true. So let's just go ahead and see here. So group number 3, Spirit, tune us in to any of the souls who are here, who are present, who are watching for group number 3, the Dark Angel. So allow me to be an open and a clear channel for as much detail as possible, please, Spirit, for the viewers watching. So what are people saying about the viewers of group number 3? So what specific details are being said about them? So any kind of chatter about them, compliments, gossip, whatever this might be that is being said about group number 3. So I'm just going to take out your incense and light it. And we'll set the intention for the smoke to represent, you know, what's kind of swirling in the air when it comes to you, what kind of chatter. Okay, Spirit, group number 3, allow this incense to represent what is currently being said about the viewers of group number 3. So let's just let this circulate for a moment. What's being said? I just heard something about your laugh really strongly. So some people could be talking here about your laugh. You may have a very unique laugh, or you may just have a very, you know, nice laugh, or you maybe laugh a lot. There's something about your laugh. I'm getting for you, group 3, there's talk here about how you are a really fun person to be around. You could be just a really good friend. You might be someone who people talk about in a very positive light, from what I'm getting right away. This could be people who you either have just spent a lot of time with over the course of your life, or this could be something recent, but there's some kind of talk here about how you're just really fun to be around. Again, like just a very, like, I'm hearing the word wholesome as well. People could talk about that you're a very wholesome person, you're a very well-rounded person. Just a lot of very positive things to say about you here, group number 3, definitely. For someone specific, you may have just purchased a new car. For some reason that's coming through, or you may have something about your car is very unique, or maybe you just love your car, but there's some kind of talk here about maybe how you have really leveled up, but for some reason it's coming up in a way of like you're very supportive. So I don't know if you've done something recently for a friend, or if you've helped somebody financially. That may not be, of course, for many people, but for someone, maybe there's something like that here. And some people could be talking about how you're very generous. For someone specific, you may wear glasses, and there's some kind of talk about how you look really good in glasses. maybe you just most recently started wearing glasses, or maybe you just, maybe you showed up one day to the office with glasses and you don't normally wear glasses. There's some talk about how they really complement you. They look really good on you. This one feels, all the three piles have been very different. Yours feels like very fiery. It feels like you're really, something here about like you being a rocket, I'm hearing, but they're showing this in a way that you are like really excelling, or you're doing a lot of things great right now, or you're just, maybe you have a lot going on, but like you're kind of just doing it all together at once. Like you're just really doing well. Or you may have, maybe you're very ambitious, maybe you are very motivated, maybe you have a lot of work projects, or you're just really acing everything right now. There's just something like that I feel people are talking about. Some of this could also be like what people are observing about you. I do feel for some group number 3, there's talk about how this has been like a recent level up though. So this may not be like, yes, you may have had these qualities for a long time, but there's something most recently that you've really taken off like a rocket, I'm hearing. So maybe this is like in the last, several weeks or last several months, you have either done something or you've launched something, or you've just had like a major kind of level up and glow up, not just physically, but like, I was gonna say romantically. That doesn't make sense. Maybe romantically for some, but not just physically, but energetically. I'm seeing something about someone wearing all white. Not sure why that's coming up. Maybe some of you wore a white dress, or you wore all white clothing. Maybe you looked really good in that. Someone's talking about that. What are people saying about group number 3? Yeah, for somebody very specific, not for everyone, of course, but you may have just launched like a new business, or you may have launched a new platform of some sort. There's a lot of talk about how, again, this is really like taken off, or people could be saying that it will take off, like this will be a really big success. I'm getting something here about Cancer energy. Some of you could have Cancer in your chart. There also seems to be talk about like the moon energy around you. So you could be very intuitive, but it's coming up more in like it's not so much like secretive, but there could be some nurturing qualities about you as well. Yeah, they're showing me a cheetah. So this one is a very fast moving pile for group number 3. There's a lot of like quick moving energy compared to another group too. So yeah, this feels like you definitely have a lot going on if this pile is going to be for you, or you're just really like feeling very motivated, or you have a lot of projects, you have a lot of, not just projects, but it almost feels like the energy is moving so quickly here. So I think that people could even be talking about that you're always on the move, you're always on the go, or you've been really on the go recently. Could be a little bit of like hard to catch you or hard to reach you. What are people saying about group number 3? For someone specific, I'm being shown you lounging on vacation, like on the beach and just kind of laying there. So I don't know if there's talk about a vacation that you're on or that you're going on. You could also be talked about that you have taken a bit of a time out maybe from somebody or certain people. Because you almost have this very unbothered energy. I'm hearing unbothered. So again, may not be always, or it could be, but it's something maybe recently. You're very unbothered. Someone here specific, or just everyone could be talking, probably not everyone, but a lot of people could be talking about how you have an unbothered energy about you. You're just doing your own thing. Yeah, I'm hearing I can't figure you out. So there could be like one particular person, maybe for some, maybe you'll know who that is, but someone who feels like they can't figure you out. Like, it could be romantically, like, are you interested? Are you not interested? It could be friendships, but there's something to where you may not be, that could be the moon energy. You may not be really showing a lot of signs or confirmations as to whether or not you are interested in someone or people romantically, or even friends who want to, you know, like hang out, something like that. But there's like an unbothered energy about you right now. Yeah, this energy is moving in really quickly. There's like so much coming through. You also may be looking really good physically lately, but something specifically about like your face area, your lips. I don't know if you did something to your lips, but there's definitely a lot of intrigue around you right now. A lot of people who may want in. But for this one, it feels like, because another group kind of had that too, but this one feels a bit different. It almost feels like it's like something to where like these people, like you're not giving, you have better things to do, or you have too much on your plate to really care about that, or that's how people perceive it. Yeah, you may have a few people who feel like you are really like the one for them. I don't know. I feel like you have a few people romantically who feel like you are like the perfect match for them, or you are their ideal kind of person, woman, or ideal man. Or that's just, again, like how you're being perceived in general. Like you may have gotten that a lot maybe, or you may have felt that a lot from people. Or it's just, again, if you've been dating recently, or there's just something recent, I think, for a lot of you. But I do think that for most of you here, you are a very successful business person, businesswoman, businessman. Even if you don't have your own business, you just really are very independent. You're very maybe financially well off, or you're just very focused on your pentacles, but maybe not so much in a way to where like you're obsessed with that, but it's just something to where you're putting a lot of focus on growing your life. Like you're very unbothered about anything else right now. Your focus is on yourself. So people could be talking about how you're very independent, you're very self-sufficient. For some specific, you could be really into like health foods, health supplements, things that are just really focused on bettering your health, bettering your life. You could sell those kinds of products, or you could just be someone who, you know, you're always buying new like health foods, superfoods, things like that. There's people talking here about how you also have this very carefree energy about you. For some, you could be going on road trips, or you could be traveling, or maybe you just are always up for the next venture. Something about a compass here and a map, like you're just really carefree. You're very hard to attain. It's like a wind, like they can feel you, but they can't catch you. Something about the lips keeps coming through. So there's definitely people or someone who's talking about your lips, your mouth area, but your lips in particular. And also, again, something about maybe a particular photo maybe of you recently wearing a certain dress, or I'm getting silver or white again for someone. I know that won't be for everyone, but or you look really good in silver, maybe silver jewelry. What are people saying here about group number 3? I also feel too, people are talking about how you're very sweet, you're very compassionate, very kind and caring. And it's almost like, again, a lot of people want your energy. A lot of people want to be around you. A lot of people want to be in your, be in your life, be in your energy. But I really feel like you don't, again, it's not so much like another group to where you don't maybe let people in. This is more of like you genuinely don't maybe have time, or you just don't care. So it's not that you are shutting people out. It's just more so that, I don't know, it's just kind of very like airy and go with the flow. There could be some talk here about how you're very organized, you're very like hygienic, but also very organized. You may always have your home put together. And I do think that a lot of these people who talk about you, I'm getting for some, of course, it could be like close people around you. But for some, I'm getting this could be people that you don't even know very well, like acquaintances or even people who you only talk to like a few times. You may just really leave an impression on people. So this could even be people who, yeah, like they're outside of your circle or they're like acquaintances. And some of these are the people who talk about you in this way. For someone specific, there could be some talk about a love story I'm getting. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you have a love story that's very unique, or maybe you have met somebody or you're in a relationship that you are very happy in for some of you, and there's some kind of talk about your love story in a good way. What are people saying about group number 3? Yeah, again, there's definitely a lot of talk about how I'm just being shown like a magnet, but I'm being shown like 10 different magnets and they're all magnetically, like they're all pulled to you. So you have this like magnetic energy about you. People could talk about how you just always get the things that you want maybe, or you get your way, or you just like, maybe people through the grapevine, or people talk about how like you always end up getting the things you want, or maybe people from the outside are seeing that, you have a lot of people who are interested in you, and like the people outside of that are also seeing that, if that makes sense. But again, I'm getting a very like shiftable, changeable energy. So you could have Gemini in your chart, maybe Pisces. There's always something to question here about you, not in a bad way, but like in a there's always something new going on maybe. For someone super specific, definitely not probably for one person, you may have bailed somebody out of jail, I'm getting, or again, you may have helped somebody who was in need financially, some kind of like difficult situation, but you were there to the rescue, or like you really helped somebody in that situation. There's some kind of talk about how you're always there to lend kind of like a helping hand, but again, it's in a way to where that's your nature, like you're not doing it to get anything back. There's also some talk here about how you are a very creative person, that you may be, again, always like doing something new, up for new adventures, creating something new. For this pile, it's a bit different. Again, all of them have been a bit different. This one feels like it's more of like a general scope of your life. It's not so much like little details. I mean, yes, there's details here, but it's not so much that this is like chatter that's happening daily about you. It's more of just like the general overview of who you are, I feel, as a person. That maybe this is just a very consistent theme, like maybe this is just who you are and who you have always been. So there's this, it doesn't feel like there's much bad to say here about you. Group number 3. I'm also getting to that there could be somebody here who feels very haunted by your presence, not in like a way to where you're haunting them spiritually, but like there's something that maybe you really linger, like your energy lingers, because it feels like definitely for this pile, if this is for you, there's something very like unforgettable about you, since a lot of people seem to really like you, or a lot of people want to be around you. But there could be like one person or a few people even that maybe you dated them, or there was some longer term connection, or even friendships that people have a hard time forgetting about you. There is talk here about something about your butt area, I am getting. In a good way. group number, yeah, there's, I mean, I feel like there maybe just be something very eccentric about you, very different about you. It's kind of like a bit wild maybe, or untamed for some. Yeah, but I really think that a lot of you have either been in the spotlight recently, or again, something that you've done. I'm not sure what you've done, but something has really worked. Something has really elevated your vibration, and it's like put you in like a even more elevated position than where you already were. Because I feel like this is your character in general, but I think that something has really leveled this up recently. And it's like, I'm hearing for someone specific, Spirit saying this may be around the sacral chakra. I'm not sure if you did something, or again, you've just really stepped into this very like creative, passionate, more juicy energy within yourself, which has created this attraction to you, this magnetic pull in different directions that people are perceiving about you. Even if not all of them are talking about it, this, because again, this pile feels more like it's almost giving you like just an overview of your life right now. Even if people are not physically actually talking about it or literally, there's a perception of that. Yeah, something too about being very lucky, having a lucky break, but I don't feel like it's just luck for you. I feel like this is just, again, you really have this high vibration, which is what allows this to happen for you. For some, I'm also getting, which has come up already, but just to confirm it again, there could be some people who feel like you are, I'm hearing a unicorn, but I'm getting it specifically like it could be men, if you are a woman, or whoever you're interested romantically in. They could be saying that you are like a one-of-a-kind kind of person, to be something about you being an ideal partner, or you're not hard, or you're not easy to find another person like you, especially romantic suitors. So it could be kind of like there's no one that compares to you kind of thing. Or when they meet you, or if you've met recent people, it's just like they've been very blown away by you being a rarity. Yeah, and again, it's coming through that there's definitely people who, it's almost like they're in line to try to get to know you. And I do think that for a lot of you, this is in terms of your romantic life. It's like, and maybe you don't know this, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's almost like it's an invisible line to get in touch with you or to want to date you. Because I'm just being shown this like, yeah, because I'm hearing Spirit say you may not know this. Like it could be people who you meet, whether it's people that you're dating, or if it's just even people who you just talk to or have a brief chat with, you know, at the bar or something. There's something to where these people are like, without your knowing of it, in their mind, they're like thinking to themselves, how can they get into your energy? How can they get in line kind of for your attention? So, because for some, I'm getting it is people that you don't even realize that feel that way. You don't have to have like a long-term or deep connection with those people. It could just be people who immediately see your value, not just physically, but like everything. And they feel like that you're like, they just want to be a part of the line of suitors waiting to also feel that, who also feel that same way. Because I just think that there's so many positive things to say about this group here, that you kind of like have it all going on for you. That's how you're being perceived here right now. Again, something keeps coming up about how you're a very good friend. You may definitely be that type of person that for the people that you care about, you would drop everything to be there for them, or people know, especially the people very close to you, talk about you in that way and just know that they can always trust you and rely on you. You are just, a very good friend, very supportive friend. So if something happened recently, or if it's just like in your friend group, behind your back, people talk about you in that way of like that, that you're such a good friend to have. And then lastly, I'm getting for you, group number 3, there could be anybody who feels that they have been in the wrong here. It's like people want to make peace with you. I don't know if this is one particular person or if it's a group of people who you had a falling out with, but there's something of like wanting to be on peaceful terms with you. And because again, I'm getting that there's like this outsider's perspective, or people who maybe are on the outskirts of your life, even though for this pile, I'm not really getting that you have like a lot of, it doesn't really feel like you have a lot of people who talk negatively about you, or you don't really have a lot of drama around you, or even people who you are in bad terms with. Like it feels like for the most part, everything is pretty smooth. But if you do have some people who you lost touch with, maybe, I think that those people could be perceiving from the outskirts that they wish they could get back in on that, or they wish they could at least be on peaceful terms with you, because they seem to see that you really do have everything to offer as a friend, as a lover. So I think Spirit just wants to kind of say to you that there's been like a shift of energy here. And if this has not happened yet, I think you're moving further into that, to where there's almost like this 180 shift here, or something really big happened within your own growth process. And you're really reaching kind of that, you're reaching that point in your own journey of personal success and like just happiness and joy, and like just really high vibrations. And so a lot of things around you will also want to resolve because of that. But I will leave it here, group number 3. I hope that this was helpful. I hope this could resonate with whoever chose this group. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and don't forget to check out our Patreon community for extra exclusive readings. And I will talk to you all in the next reading. Take care and lots of love.